Everyone stop beating your gums and listen up.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, this may come as a bit of a shock, so prepare yourselves. There has been a murder.
But his egomaniacal motives were not the only reason I decided he had to die.
Who had the motive, means, and opportunity.
What would you do then?
Scream.
Let's find out if you were successful solving our little murder game.
Hi, it's Lee from Shot Mysteries, and I am going to talk today a little bit about New Year's Eve party recommendations. It is the eve of 2020, and around here we like to call that the New Roaring 20s, which is pretty exciting. I'm sitting here with all my Christmas stuff. It's 2 days before Christmas, and of course things are crazy, but if you're like me and like the rest of the world, the minute that Christmas is over, i.e. the 26th, you're gonna turn your attention to New Year's. And suddenly we have a week in there to kind of like get back our brains and remember that there's something else to celebrate 7 days later. And that usually means a run on the New Year's Eve party murder mysteries, which is fantastic news for us, fantastic news for you, because we have lots of mysteries that will fit, especially coming into the New Roaring 20s. I have my eggnog, which may or may not have a little Jamaican rum in it. You can be the judge of that by the end of this video. We have a second viewer question. I'm like, is this gonna be a thing? Like send in questions, random questions about my office, and I will answer them on the video. Who knows? The question was something along the lines of, the guy in the frame picture behind you, is that your boyfriend? I can only assume that we are talking about this frame here, which means that the question is Bobby Axelrod from Billions my boyfriend? And the answer is, yes, he is. No, that is just something that reminds me to live a certain way. The other thing that I will address before we start talking recommendations is, of course, the shameless plug of the Shot swag. I love, love, love this new design. The beanie that I am wearing is actually part of our new prize swag that will be going out to all of our winners from the photo contest. So if you don't know about this, on our Google page, so how that works is on Google, you Google Shot in the Dark Mysteries. On the side, there's a little information about us and reviews, and if you go to reviews, you have a chance to upload your party pictures. And every week we go through and we see what has been submitted, and we pick the best or our favorite or just whichever makes us smile the most, because all of them make us smile, and we declare a winner. All of our winners that have won so far are going to be getting one of our sleuth beanies, which I totally love. So, shameless plug of the prize swag. If you want to be entered in the draw, please go to the Google page. So you actually have to go to Google. Don't go to Safari or Chrome. Go to Google and Google Shot in the Dark Mysteries, and then go to the page. It's on the right-hand side. It'll say like reviews and a whole bunch of other business information. And in the reviews section, you can upload your pictures. So, New Year's. We are doing something super fun this year. We are going to be down at the Speak. It's, if you are not up on the lingo, the Speak is short for the Speak Cheesy. It is a local venue where we almost exclusively throw our events. It is a fantastic venue. It legit feels like a speakeasy. It's called the Speak Cheesy. It's below a cheese and chocolate shop, and it's done up like a speakeasy. So it is our favorite place to throw murder mysteries locally. We are doing one there this New Year's. Unfortunately, it is sold out. These events sell out within 24 hours. That doesn't mean you can't throw a mystery in your home or venue, of course, with any of these. We are going to be using Le Shot Noir, which is a new one that is not available for public release yet, but I will talk about that a little bit more as we go. Now, we are getting into the New Roaring 20s, of course. Things that we have on tap just real quick for 2020, because we are going to be taking a hiatus from the podcast and from the video blog until January 15th. So I'm going to mention these now so that you have lots of time to prepare. If you are in and around Southern Ontario in Canada and you would like to join us, please join us on January the 25th for a fantastic fundraiser here. There's information on our Facebook page about this event. All the money from this event is going to a very dear friend of mine's fundraiser to set up a clean water system in a village in Cambodia. So I love this. It's very one-on-one. It's very organic fundraising project. We get to see the village and the people who are doing this. So it's a fantastic fundraiser. If you can join us, please do, because we are doing Murder in the 50s. It's going to be a blast. So that's January 25th. If you haven't heard already, 3/20/2020 is, that's March 20th, 2020, is the date of our 3-day murder mystery immersive event in Georgia on an island called Sapelo Island, where we take over the Reynolds Mansion, which is an amazing spot. I'll talk about it in another video a little bit more in depth, but this place is amazing. It is a playground for my creativity, let me tell you. And my counterpart in Georgia, Corey, and I are gonna be throwing one hell of a weekend. So it's a 3-day thing. It's a scavenger hunt. There's elements of escape room, code cracking, and of course the interactive mystery. And we're using the Sly Mr. Fox, which is of course our nod to the Great Gatsby, right in line with that 1920s theme. And you can come, take on the role of a suspect, be basically in Gatsby era dress, and live in the Gatsby life for a Friday night, Saturday, and half a Sunday. So I hope you'll join us, but do it quick, because there's only room for 16, and as of this moment, I think that there are already 6 tickets sold and we haven't started promoting it yet. So if you're slightly interested in that, hit us up on the Facebook page. GeorgiaMurderMystery.com is the other place you can find information on how to get tickets. You actually have to call the venue. There, I just rapid fired a bunch of information at you. Are you ready for your recommendations? It's the rum. Recommendation number 1 for New Year's is, of course, the New Year's Eve party murder. And I love this mystery. It was part of our Christmas recommendations as well, but it was specifically created for New Year's Eve. The plot line involves an archaeologist that died 50 years ago. He left a time lock on a safe that would expire 50 years in the future. It expires at the stroke of midnight. The safe works in a way that the time lock expires and then a code can be entered after that point. Before the stroke of midnight, the lawyer who has the code gets murdered and the code goes missing. One of my favorites for any time of year. If you watch the Christmas recommendations, I did talk about this a little bit. Holt Moxie is the archaeologist who set all this up. He was very eccentric. A lot of people think he was a fraud because so many things that he claimed to have found, they're nowhere to be seen. There's a lot of anticipation as to what is in this safe. Is it things that he found but can't be found now? Is it a bunch of nothing? Is it his confession that he was, after all, a fraud? There's an audio file and, of course, the transcript that you can play after the mystery to find out what is in the safe once it's opened. This is a little bit more of an intellectual type of thing, though, so if you are throwing a big kegger, maybe do this mystery a little bit earlier in the evening before people drink a lot. I recommend that for any murder mystery. Get the mystery done before the booze kicks in, but especially for this one because it is a little bit more of like ancient relics, archaeology tied to it. So you want people to have their wits about them as they're trying to solve it. My second recommendation is not one mystery, it's kind of a genre. We are entering the new Roaring 20s. You need to bring it in with a bang because it's gonna be a blast. As a company, we are completely turning toward the 20s for all of 2020. We have a bunch of new 20s mysteries coming out, and of course we already have a ton of 20s mysteries. So the three 20s mysteries that I recommend for bringing in the new Roaring 20s are, of course, A Flapper Murder of the 1920s Speakeasy, Gangster Murder of the 1920s Speakeasy, and The Sly Mr. Fox. Flapper Murder of the 1920s Speakeasy is one of our best sellers of all time. It has been on the market for about 12 years and it has never missed a year. It has been our best seller for 12 years. People love this so much that they were asking for alternate endings and things like that. What I did about 2 years ago is I created it's a prequel. So it's same characters, same sort of, like, it goes into the backstory of Flapper. It's called A Gangster Murder, the 1920s Speakeasy, and it focuses a little bit more on the gangsters rather than the Flappers. Flapper had a really, really thick backstory about a shootout at the Caterpillar Club. This takes place right before the shootout at the Caterpillar Club. So the timelines sync up pretty neatly, and our victim from Flapper, Fanny Birchwood, is actually a suspect in Gangster, which is pretty cool. So Flapper Murder, the 1920s Speakeasy, Gangster Murder, the 1920s Speakeasy, either of those are going to be fantastic. You can solve them in any order. You don't have to have solved Flapper to do Gangster and vice versa. The Sly Mr. Fox is more of our nod to the Great Gatsby. It's a little bit more of a dignified sort of dinner party versus raucous speakeasy. All right, my third recommendation. This one comes with a bit of a caveat. Of course, it's called Le Shot Noir. This is the one we're going to be throwing at the speak on New Year's Eve. It is going to be launched in limited release for New Year's. So what does that mean? Well, basically what we do is we launch standard variations of every mystery. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18 suspect versions. This may not have the full 18. It'll be a limited release available for New Year's with, at the very minimum, the 6 and 8 suspect, probably the 10 and 12 if everything goes my way. Le Shot Noir is 20s, but it's set in Paris. In Paris and France, they had Les Années Folles, which is different than Prohibition, but it's like the crazy years. They did the 20s a little differently. This takes place in a cabaret called Le Chat Noir. It involves both a theft and a murder. This particular mystery, it is a little bit, again, one of those things that you want to do a little bit earlier in the evening before people hit the booze. You don't want to be doing this right at midnight when people have had their drinks and are ready to get rid of 2019. It's a locked room mystery as well. It's one of the first ones I've done, and a theft and a murder. That is it. That is all I'm going to recommend, because in the Christmas recommendations video, I did get into a lot more of the Winter Wonderland murder, Christmas Party murder, Santa strangling, and Murder in the Alps. Those would be the other natural ones for this, but since I already recommended them for Christmas and got into them in the other video, I'm not going to get into them again here, but I will link the other video so that if nothing in this recommendations is tickling your fancy, go check out the other one if you want something a little bit more Christmas based or a little bit more holiday themed, and I'm sure one of those will fit into what you are looking for. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for a fantastic 2019. We will be back on January the 15th with our podcast / video blog. I would like to take this opportunity to say a very, very happy new year to you all. It has been an absolute pleasure to have been a part of your celebrations this year. We are a very, very small team here at Shot, and every single one of you, every time you run our mysteries, it is such an honor to us to be able to be a part of you bringing your people together and, you know, doing that face-to-face thing that I always talk about. See you in the new Roaring 20s.